Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Alex Hall and I am the admissions tutor at the Department of Politics. We have arranged today to do a YouTube live event where you can hear me talk a little bit about what we can offer you at the Department of Politics at York. We've also invited a few of our student ambassadors, our international ambassadors, so students of ours who like you, a couple of years ago, were in a similar position deciding where to study, and we're going to do a Q&A event with them slightly later on. So first of all, you'll hear me, and then we'll switch to the student ambassadors. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we can offer you and what we think makes York a great place to come and study politics or international relations. It's always a really interesting time to study politics and international relations. Of course, it's the subject you've chosen to study, but perhaps especially nowadays with so much happening in Europe, in Britain, but also internationally, now is a fantastic time to be studying politics and international relations. And at York, at the Department of Politics, the people who will be teaching you have research specialisms across the breadth of the discipline. So we have experts, leading experts in the academic field, spanning all of the sub-disciplines of politics and international relations. And our research, they're leading experts in their fields. They actively conduct research, and this research feeds directly into the teaching that happens in our department. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that my colleagues study, which feeds into our teaching provision. So lots of our current research, or the research that several of my colleagues are doing, is focused on migration and security, for instance. So several of my colleagues have been looking at the European migration crisis, at refugee flows, the relationship of migration to security. We teach modules in the second and the third year that look directly at the relationship between migration, security, and refugees. We have a research strength at York in development and development studies. So lots of my colleagues research and are active in kind of policy debates around international development, human rights, social justice, and so forth. We have a new centre in the department looking at issues of international development. We have at York several of my colleagues, or we have a research strength actually in political philosophy and political theory, and there's lots of projects kind of ongoing in this field. One, for instance, is looking at the idea of civil society and tracing its history in the modern era from the 16th century through until the current day. So if political philosophy or political theory interests you, we have a research strength in that field, and lots of my colleagues are kind of doing cutting edge research around issues like that. Lots of our research is focused on international security, conflict, and peace negotiations. Several of my colleagues are kind of actively involved in research in this area, looking at the ingredients of a lasting peace deal, looking at the factors that contribute to kind of conflict and the kind of ending of conflict and so forth. And this feeds directly into lots of our teaching at second year and also at third year. And several of my colleagues, in fact many of my colleagues, are interested in the current politics of Europe and lots of the debates that are happening in Europe at the moment about integration and kind of Brexit in the wake of the British vote to leave Europe and so forth. So that's just a flavour of some of the research that we do in the department. And what that means for you in terms of the teaching that you receive when you're here at York is that our teaching is research-led. Our research has been rated as excellent in the recent kind of research excellence framework, which is a kind of measurement of our research, and we are 8th in the UK, which is a marker of the way that our research is valued. And this research feeds directly into our teaching. So what we provide our students with is a kind of a firm foundation from which to build. So in the first year, all of our students, whether you're studying politics or international relations or politics with international relations, are able to study 4 key modules. what is politics, and this looks at the shape of the discipline of politics. We then introduce all of our students to democratic politics, international politics, and also political theory. So whatever pathway you're on, you'll take the same 4 modules. And then in the second year, one of the benefits of our degrees is that you're able to start pursuing the things that interest you about politics and international relations. So in our second year, we're able to offer our students quite a lot of flexibility and choice. Depending on which pathway you're on, you'll take a core module in the second year, and then you have a variety of choice and a kind of a degree of flexibility to pursue modules that really interest you. So it might be, for instance, that you have a particular interest in international relations and you're able to pursue this from the first year through to the second year and the third year. And it might be that you encounter some new ideas and perspectives in your first year, which you're then able to pursue onwards through your degree. The Department of Politics at York is relatively large. It's one of the larger in the UK. And what this means for all of our students is that we're able to provide teaching that spans the discipline, and you're also able to provide a lot of modules for students to choose from. And this is a real benefit for our home students, but also for our international students, who really feel the benefit not only of their research-led teaching, but also the kind of range and span of disciplines. So lots of students tell us that they really value the ability to be able to shape their degree according to their interests. In the third year, students benefit from, again, a wide range of specialist modules taught by academic members of staff who are researching in that field. But you also develop a one-to-one relationship with a member of staff to complete an independent dissertation. And this is a real challenge and also an opportunity to really engage deeply in a topic that interests you. So students choose to research any manner of things, everything from the politics of outer space to US foreign policy, the rise of China, for instance, all the way through to some of the politics of the UK. Whatever you can imagine, students have studied it. And you build quite a close one-to-one relationship with an individual member of staff who supports you in completing an independent dissertation. So in the third year, all of the fruits of your prior learning kind of, are there. What happens is that you're able to kind of really kind of get into depth with some of the things that have interested you and pursue this study module. So we take teaching really seriously within the department. In the UK, there are measures of kind of teaching satisfaction that our students fill in, and we are regularly voted. We are regularly told that students really appreciate the enthusiasm, the approachability, and the professionalism of our staff. So every year we get feedback from students who have positive things to say about the way that we teach in the department. We are approachable as a department. I'm an academic member of staff, and I'm available every week during term time for students to call in and to see me individually. This might be because they have a problem with the course, or they want some more reading, or they're particularly interested in the topic that we've covered in class. And students, especially perhaps international students, really value the opportunity to be able to call in and to ask questions about things that they're uncertain of, or if they need some more guidance, or they just want to discuss some ideas. So as well as your class time, time spent in lectures and also in seminars, you also have the ability to kind of come and to call into staff to have individual one-to-one appointments. And this is particularly important, I think, for our overseas students, to make sure they get the guidance that they need to kind of make a success of their degree in the UK. So we use a variety of teaching methods at York, lectures in lecture halls, kind of large classes, and then kind of smaller discussion groups, seminars in a group of about 15 to 20 students, and then these one-to-one appointments which students can take advantage of. We're always looking at new ways to develop our curriculum and to make our teaching kind of fresh and exciting. Politics as a subject lends itself particularly well to role plays and to debates and to simulations, all of which we use regularly in our teaching. And it's not just the case that we're giving you content, that you're learning about the content of your discipline. A degree in politics really is teaching you how to form critical and well-reasoned arguments. So alongside kind of some of the disciplinary content that you'll be getting familiar with, students at York really benefit from some of the kind of transferable skills that we are able to give to our students. One of our ambassadors has just arrived, so just saying hi to her. Okay. So the University of York, it takes employability and careers really seriously. So in the Department of Politics, we have a dedicated careers placement officer, and this is somebody who's in the department full-time to support home and overseas students who want guidance and support in kind of finding work placements, but also in kind of careers advice. So students in the department take advantage of lots of different internship and work experience placements. And there's a range of opportunities that all of our students are able to take advantage of. So lots of our students, for instance, would work part-time. There's kind of lots of ambassador opportunities to get involved with. Lots of our students take up opportunities for summer internships in the UK or abroad. There are obviously visa implications kind of involved in taking up placements sometimes, but the university is well experienced at supporting students through this. And the benefit of working, of gaining work experience while you're doing your degree is that it really makes your CV stand out, and we take that really seriously for our students. So unlike lots of the other departments you might be looking at and lots of the other universities, the University of York, sorry, the Department of Politics at York has a dedicated placement coordinator. So somebody that you can call on regularly in the department who can help you with your CV, who can assist you in kind of applications and finding placements and internships, for instance. And there's lots and lots of opportunities once you're here at York to get involved in things that will help enhance your career. And some of the student ambassadors later on might talk a little bit about what they've done and the work experience that they have. And the statistics tell us that actually a degree in York sets lots of our students, our home students, but also our international students, it sets them up for a fantastic career. So a York degree is recognised and it's respected by employers all over the world. And our students have gone on to really fantastic careers in a variety of different fields. Everything from kind of public policy and government through to media and journalism, lots of graduate training schemes, law, teaching, NGOs. There's lots and lots of different career paths that are open to our students with a good degree from the University of York. So last year, for instance, over 98% of our graduates were employed or in further study 6 months after graduating. And actually, the figure for what we call positive destinations, so graduate level jobs, is also really high. About 80% of our graduates, about 86% of our graduates leave and are able to find graduate level employment 6 months after leaving us, or indeed take up further study. So the message I'm giving you here actually is that with a degree from politics at York, there's a wide variety of doors that will open for you, whether you choose to pursue further study in the UK or kind of internationally, or whether you want to pursue a career in a variety of fields. A degree in politics from York will set you up really nicely for a variety of kind of fantastic career paths. But of course, it's the case that the university joining a university isn't just about the lectures and the library and kind of hard work, although it's a lot to do with that. You'll be joining, when you come to us at York, you'll be joining a vibrant research community, a kind of an active and inclusive and welcoming research community. So there's lots and lots of different kind of events that students can attend. The university and the union are often organising kind of speakers and different events, but the department also is quite active in organising events and speakers and seminars and workshops and round table discussions that our undergraduate students are really welcome to join in too. So some recent events, for instance, looked at kind of health and security in the global south. There's lots of kind of events on Brexit and the politics of Europe at the moment, but also kind of widely looking at kind of the nuclear politics and whatever's happening in kind of contemporary global politics. The department responds by kind of setting up seminar series and speakers and events and so forth to respond to that. So there's always something that students can get involved with. And the message I want to give you here is that you'll be joining a really inclusive, welcoming department with lots going on. And lots of our overseas students feel very welcome, I think, in that academic community. But when you come to York, you don't just join an academic community, the Department of Politics, you also join a college. So York is quite unique in the fact that you apply to study in an academic department, but you also apply to join a college. And the college is where you'll live, usually for your first year at least, but it's also a centre for your kind of community life throughout the 3 years that you're here at York. So what happens is that you kind of are kind of a member throughout your 3 years, and it's a really fantastic way to find your feet in the university. So unlike lots of the other universities in the UK, which are kind of don't have the college system, at York, students, perhaps especially international students, are immediately included in a college environment. And the colleges will be a centre for social life, for kind of lots of different kinds of kind of sporting activities and so forth. But it's also a really nice kind of level of pastoral support. So if you're away from home, it can be, kind of difficult to, in some locations to kind of settle in, but the college gives you a head start in that. You'll meet other people on your course, and other kind of international students, of course, but you'll also meet people in other years who are studying different disciplines from you. So the college system is one of the things that really makes York stand out, and for lots of our students, home and overseas, it's a real plus, it's a real selling point, and students want to be able to feel included and part of a community beyond their department. And York, of course, is regularly voted one of the most beautiful places to live in the UK. It's certainly one of the safest. York is a fantastic kind of environment to live in. The campus and the university is just about 5 kind of minutes up, or about 10 minutes up the road from the city of York. You can get loads of other places really easily from York. It's a fantastic place to be, but it's very well connected to Leeds, to London, to Newcastle, to lots of the other cities in the UK. It's a beautiful historic town that is regularly visited by lots of tourists, British tourists as well as international tourists. So it's a fantastic place to be, and lots of our students love it and end up feeling really at home here. It's a relatively small city, but there's lots going on, and it's very welcoming, safe and inclusive. Okay. So if I had to tell you kind of 5 or 6 things that I thought really made York stand out, like why you should choose us, I would say that the following. We have a really excellent research reputation. We are ranked currently 8th in the UK for the quality of our research. We have, on the back of this, experts in their field across a range of subdisciplines of politics and international relations, and we offer our students a fantastic range of modules, so you're able to pursue whatever interests you about your discipline here at the University of York. Our teaching is consistently rated really highly, so lots of our students tell us regularly that they really appreciate the approachability and the professionalism of our staff. They value the enthusiasm that we bring to our teaching, and they value the support that we're able to give, kind of one-to-one support, and also the kind of the enthusiasm in our lectures and seminars. We have really great dedicated careers support, which might be slightly different from some of the other kind of universities that you're looking at. We have dedicated departmental support for careers, a placement coordinator who can help you and is on hand to help you with careers advice. And we have excellent opportunities to pursue internships and various work experience opportunities and so forth. And we also offer our students a fantastic collegiate environment in a really beautiful campus university in one of the safest and most welcoming cities in the UK. Okay, so if you wanted to contact me to ask any questions, you're really welcome to do so. My email address is on the website, and I'm open to any questions, any kind of last minute information that you need before you make the decision about where to study. I'd be really happy to take your question. Please do get in contact if you have any more questions. No one has any questions. Hi. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to hand over to our student ambassadors, okay? So I've invited 2 of our existing international students to come along to answer some questions, and also one of our home students to answer some questions too. So if any of you are out there watching and you want to ask a question, this is a fantastic opportunity to do so. If you just want to listen, it's absolutely fine as well. I'm going to invite the student ambassadors to come in front of the camera now. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Hope it's been useful. Please do get in contact if you have any more questions or anything we can help you with. But I'll hand it over to the student ambassadors now. They can introduce themselves. We have some questions pre-prepared that they can work through, but if you have anything you want to ask the students, now's your opportunity to do so. It was nice talking to you. Speak to you again soon. Bye.
Yeah.
If it on there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might have to squeeze in, guys. That's it.
Right.
Hi everyone. Go left to right.
Hi everyone. So I'm Hillary. I'm originally from China, Beijing, if you wonder. And I'm here. I'm on my 2nd year studying politics with international relations.
I'm Joel. I'm from about 40 minutes up the road. But I'm here because we did a Facebook Live, YouTube Live before, so these guys, it's their first time, so I'm here to sort of give the other experience, given we've done this before. So yeah, any questions you can still fire to my way as well.
Yeah, I'm Jose. I'm an international student originally from Quito in Ecuador, and I'm just here to tell you guys a little bit about what it is to do politics and international relations, which is my course at the Uni of York. And you guys are all 3rd years, yeah?
Second year.
2nd year, so I'm a 3rd year, so I'm doing all the dissertation. I'm graduating in about 3 weeks, so
Oh, good for you.
yeah. So you'll get the full experience of the full 3 years with me.
So obviously for you guys, because you're not from this country, how do you decide when you're looking at universities across the world? How do you then pick a country, I'm guessing, first, and then you pick a university? How does that kind of happen?
Well, first of all, it's because like I only speak English, so
Right.
I need to pick an English-speaking country.
Yeah.
And a country that speaks proper English,
Yeah.
like what you said. So yeah, Britain has a really high quality of education, so that's what attracts me the most.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people came from China and went to Britain to study,
Yeah.
and had really good feedback about it.
Okay.
Also, it's a really nice, beautiful country, I would
Yeah.
say, in Europe.
So why York then? Because York is a nice historic northern city, isn't it?
Yes, because I'm from Beijing, and it's a really historic city.
Yes.
And York is also really historic. Like it has a lot of history and relatives, etc. And I'm just felt like, wow, it's really amazing and beautiful here. It's a little small, cute town.
Yes. Very friendly people around here, aren't they?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm surprised about.
Yes.
Because I was like, because I've never came to the UK before, and I was like,
Okay.
okay, I I don't know how people here are they like
Yeah.
rude or are they
No.
like really welcoming? But it turns out everyone is so welcoming.
Yes, absolutely.
Like they'll help you if you have any question, and they'll just help you if you just someone on the street.
Yeah.
In China, probably not do that, but
Right.
here, like people are so helpful.
So it's a nice cultural experience.
Yes,
Perfect.
definitely is.
What about you?
Well, for me, deciding York was kind of a mix of personal reasons, but also I was considering going to, and I don't know if anybody watching is considering going to university in the United States or Canada, which was geographically closer to where I'm from.
Yeah.
But to those people, I would say make sure that you consider the real costs of education over there as opposed to here. One thing that really attracted me from York is it's a really high quality education, first of all, especially for politics. It's ranked amongst some of the best in the UK.
Yeah.
And therefore the
Top 10.
world. Yeah.
Yes, we're top 10.
And obviously that's something that really attracts you, but also living in York is it's very thrifty compared to London and other parts of England. So living here is cheaper and tuition here is cheaper. So if you were comparing to a university in the United States and Canada, tuition is almost half and you finish your course in 3 years. So you're saving an entire year of tuition, of rent, of living in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Everything. And in the UK, you're allowed to work, which is something that was really important to me, to be able to, as I am a student, be able to work. You can work. When I first came here, I worked as a waiter. You can save up money, go traveling, do whatever you want. But as your degree progresses into second and third year, you're going to want to get work experience, which you can do in the UK, and I know for a fact that you can't do in America. So there is benefits both financially and geographically to coming to York, as well as it's just a great uni.
Yeah. Should we go through the questions? So you can send us a question, and they'll come through to our screen. So feel free. So trying to pick one
Oh, sure.
without looking.
Okay.
Makes it more
I
fun,
have
like a
enough.
sweepstake, isn't it, with the Grand National or something?
Right.
The horse racing.
So, are you involved in any societies or clubs? I think here, like in the UK, we call them societies more.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
like
sure.
society. So
Yeah.
like
So I joined the MUN, so it's like Model United Nations.
okay,
And
very
'cause-
popular.
Yeah, because I study politics, and I think that's really interrelated with politics, like to see what's going on with this world. That's what we talk about most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to help you with your speech, because I'm always feeling like, okay, I'm not confident enough to speak. Then if you join the Model United Nations, then
You get that confidence.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It helps you to practice, and especially with my English. The first day I was there, everyone was talking in perfect English, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how do they do that?
So how have you found that? Have you found there's been sort of
People
language
told-
sessions to help you and stuff like that?
No,
Have you found
after
it
I
accessible?
practiced,
or-
people told that I was a good speaker,
Yeah.
and I was really surprised.
Yeah.
I'm like, was that really? And yes, they say like I said things logically, and it makes sense. I'm just like, yes, yeah, that
about
was
you?
really good experience.
So a bit of a repetition, but in my first year of uni, I was in the MUN committee, and in the second year, I just did MUN as a delegate. But yeah, as she was saying, MUN is one of the most popular societies on campus, especially for politics students. But sports societies are also quite prolific at uni. I'm part of the Uni of York Cycling Club. But also, if you don't want to take it that seriously, if you really just want to kind of play a bit of sports relaxed on the weekends, one time during the week, there's also a college sport. So I'm part of college rugby, but it's not really, it's like intramural, so it's not really any demanding or competitive. Well, it is competitive to some extent, but it's more about making friends and stuff.
College things kind of, if you
Yeah.
did something at school or college or when you were younger, you want to get back into it, but not take it too seriously. Then
Yeah.
you can have fun with your mates.
or
in the
if
college
you-
car,
or
the
if you
college
wanna-
system gives you that.
Yeah, or if you want to try something new. I'd never even seen a rugby ball before I moved to the UK 3 years ago, and I ended up playing rugby all 3
Yeah.
years. So it can be a lot of fun to try something new as well.
And
Yeah.
Cricket.
Cricket's quite big. Yeah.
Yes.
Cricket season's just starting
I
for
had
Yorkshire.
no idea what it was.
It's been
before.
raining
Yeah,
off
just don't
sadly,
know.
but
It's
you
just a-
notice I'm looking a bit warm because we've not had much sunshine, have
Oh
we?
yeah, definitely.
Today is really hot, isn't it? I mean,
It's
the country where
really
you're from, a lot
warm.
warmer
Yeah.
than the UK, so you're probably more acclimatised than I am.
Yeah.
But today is very warm. And what's
It's
nice is that
nice.
for our campus, when it is nice weather, campus looks great. Campus looks beautiful. We've got a nice
Yeah.
little open plan area, Greg's
It's very
place.
nice.
So
There's also a lot of wildlife on campus.
yeah, we're now in rabbit season when they start to mate and all the rest
I
of
saw
it.
so many rabbits.
Yeah, so many
growing up,
rabbits are now
yeah.
emerging because spring's been quite late because of the snow.
And squirrels.
Squirrels, yeah, they're all happening this time of year. Okay, let's go for another one. What careers guidance is there? We'll come to the third year because it's probably something you're
Well,
probably actively, hopefully thinking about at this point in your studies.
Well, for me, it was a bit different because I had early in my second year, I got an offer to go do a master's and consecutive PhD
Okay, where's that?
at the University of Manchester.
Okay,
So
not as
I'm-
good as York.
I yeah I haven't received career advice because I've had that
Okay.
kind of, or I haven't sought career advice in my third year because I've had that kind of secured.
Yes.
But the career service definitely provides a plethora of services, including the Careers Gateway, which is basically a portal where companies and organizations, anything of the sort that's looking for students for summer internships, for any kind of program, they're advertising their jobs on the Careers Gateway.
Yeah.
At the University of York, so you can just sign in with your Uni of York account, get in there and start looking for internships, and the Careers Gate, the people at Careers will help you through the entire application process and tailoring your CV for any of those alternatives that you find there or that you find in any of the other ways that you can find a job, be that through connections or a job fair. They also have 2 very large job fairs every year. Obviously, depends on what course you're going to do specifically, but there's one for science and technology, and there's also one for law and social studies. So
Yeah.
there's also
And
career
we now
fairs.
have as well Charlie King, who's our politics placement coordinator, and he's from the management school. And we're now offering, as I'm sure you're aware, or hopefully you're aware, that we have a politics and IR or just IR year in industry now.
Yeah.
So essentially, in your third of 4 years, you do your first 2 years, then you do a third year out in industry. It's a bit like a year abroad, but you're actually working and getting paid. And Charlie will sort of guide you through that process. So whatever you find, which is of academic merit, doesn't have to be your typical going to an MP or to the House of Commons or even back home if you're an international student doing something there. Charlie's there to sort of guide you into and we did the presentation, the amount of things you can go into with Brexit happening. I'm sure you've heard a lot about Brexit, which will definitely feed into your course. The amount of companies which now need someone with a politics background in their company to sort of ride this whole Brexit storm is surprising. So I think politics at York is quite on it in terms of getting you that year in industry, because it could get you those skills, the experiences, the on-task stuff, which is kind of quite important. So it's something that we think, had I been in first year, would have definitely got stuck in with, because from the start you're then thinking about where can this take you, and that's important.
You joined the BBC, didn't you?
So I now work for the BBC, and Charlie's been great in. I'd never done a cover letter before I could do a CV, so I went to Charlie, had like a half an hour. You can book in to see him at all times of the year, not just if you're going on his industry placement thing. And I sort of wrote a CV down, cover letter, and then got some work at the BBC. And I wouldn't say it's all down to Charlie, because obviously I had to have the experience as well, but someone who knows what they're talking about, and that sort of his guidance definitely got me in there. So he's very proven track record. Some may say, getting people into places, and people go to him all the time, and he's quite good, and he's quite forward with also pitching suggestions. So we get a lot of emails over Easter about, have you seen this internship? Have you seen that internship?
Yeah, I got a lot of emails.
So he's
about
fine,
that,
which is great, because you want someone to be doing that as his job, and he's very good at it. So I think York politics in terms of careers and industry placements is quite good. She's a definite pro. So we have another one.
Yeah, definitely. I think the department does more to get you a job than any other department at the
Yeah.
uni. in
How
my
many
opinion.
hours a week do you spend studying?
Wow. Because I think like
Alex is watching this admissions tutor, by the way.
okay,
Be
I
careful
have
what
to
you
be really
say.
honest. Yeah. So I think like in your first year you have like more lectures than you do in your second year because now we only have like
Yeah, it's 14 hours contact in your first year for the 4 modules. So that's 2 hours of
Yeah,
lectures and then an hour and a
one-
half seminar.
yeah.
And it
And
drops
now-
to 1 lecture.
Yes, now we only have one lecture per module per week, but actually you need to study more. So
Yeah.
you have less lectures to attend, but you
More
have to
work.
study more. So I guess I'm not sure like how much because now it's revision, season.
Yeah, so we're in revision prison right now. So it's kind of like
really
everyone's
sad.
putting the work in. But I think generally you can expect to do what I'd say is probably like a 9 to 5 week,
Yes.
but not necessarily 9 to 5. So if you work late at night, great. The library's 24/7. So I'd say about 35 hours
Yeah,
a
I would
week
say
max.
yeah, like
Because
around.
you're in contact hours 10 hours. You want to spend good time reading everything, doing your seminar prep. I mean, that's ideal. And university is kind of what you make of it. If you want to come here and not do anything, that's kind of your fault. But
Mhm.
York, you're never short of material for reading. If you're really into your subject, like I do a module in US National Security, I know
Oh yeah,
you
I
do
do
that one.
that. Yeah,
We were in
I
the
really
same
like
seminar,
it. It was
and
really
everyone actually
interesting.
wanted to do the extra reading because they liked the topic. So as you specialise in your second and third years, if you want to put the hours in and put the work in and get the reading done, the options definitely are there, aren't they?
The seminar was great, and the professor, like Nick,
Yeah.
he was awesome. So
That's the thing about our professors as well. They're not just people who've picked up a textbook. They are sort of the research leaders in their field. So Nick's had to move our seminars back a week because he's off to Geneva next week to
Yes.
chat about nuclear weapons and all things US politics, which are his expertise areas. And it's kind of reassuring to know that the people that you're being lectured by are kind of at the forefront of their game a bit. I think the guy who does SES, which is our State Economy and Society module, Werner, like every book on that topic has been written by Werner, which is of any credit.
yes, because
Which is
that
reassuring
also
to know.
happens War and Peace. Like the
Yes.
module, like Nina
Yes,
Casper?
Nina, yeah.
Casperson.
Like yeah, she was writing. Like I was basically doing the reading about the book she wrote.
Yeah.
Like it means like all of our lecturers and professors, they're really active, like writing.
Yeah.
And they're actually the leader, like kind of in this kind of study
Yes.
field.
Which is nice to know because you're paying your money, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do pay actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt you pay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we pay $9,000 a year.
Oh yeah, no.
We have to pay. It's about 50 grand debt for us as well. How did you find third year then in terms of the workload? Is it a big step up or
Well,
is it still manageable or
the thing about workload is, let me get in frame. The thing about workload
yeah, do
is,
come back.
it depends on what grade you want to get.
Yeah.
If you want to get a first and you really want to get everything you can from what the university is offering you, then yes, you should be putting a 9 to 5 every day. Like he said, 35 hours a week. If you want to scrape by it with barely a 2-1 or a 2-2, maybe, if you want to risk it, then you can easily do it on 20 hours or less of research a week. It's really up to you. When you get to third year, you'll have a dissertation, which is a large project, and if you want to take 3 months doing that, then that's fine. You'll probably get a really good grade, but there's people that do them in 3 days and they fail. But it's really up to you. There's not going to be anybody here forcing you to work or
Yeah.
forcing you to go to class. So
No.
it's really up to you. But it's a shame. I think one of the main reasons I never missed class was, well, first of all, they're expensive, so you might as well go. But second of
Yeah.
all the resources are there, and something that's very good about the uni is that class, like they said, the lecturers are leaders in their fields. Many times you're studying work that they've written themselves, because most of them, or almost all of them, are published, and the class sizes are very small.
Yeah.
So you get a very personal relationship with your lecturer,
That's true.
or whoever teaches you, especially
Yeah.
in second and third year. So I take classes right now. As the course starts specializing, you can pick specific modules where you want to learn specific things. So, for example, I have one that's called Politics of Development in Latin America, and for those modules, I think it's maybe 15 people in my class, so you can literally sit down and ask your lecturer if you don't understand something. You can have a close relationship with them.
Yeah, which, as you say, value for money.
Yeah.
As an international student, you're going to pay
Too
more
much.
than the domestic students, but you have to think what value for money can you get. And I think those little things like the class sizes, the fact your lecturers are at the forefront of their research field does definitely stack your cup quite highly. That is why we're top 10. But I think as well, it's about the experience you get at university. So we mentioned the societies, there are 200 plus on campus. It's not just about your degree, because a 40-hour week working still leaves you, in theory, every evening and the weekends to
Yeah.
still do other things. So it's kind of about what else you can see yourself doing
Because if you
whilst
do
you're
like
at university.
if you do like 9 to 5, then after 5 you can just chill, like
Yeah.
spend time with your friends, go out or just party or just relax. Everything is up to you. But
Yes.
just organize it, then you have enough time to
Yeah.
enjoy yourself later.
It's a manageable degree with manageable workload, with scope for fun. Obviously, clubbing is a very British thing that British people do well, I think. But equally, if that's not your thing, there are other things on campus to do as well. So, there's the time to make it your experience. We always say for freshers, it's about your experience. It's about your week and your term, your year, your university experience. And if you don't want to do it a typical way, that's fine, because as I say, 200 plus societies on campus, from everything from coffee society to tea society,
Meme society.
meme society, and even a Taylor Swift society. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. So there's
Definitely
everything there to
diverse,
cater to anyone's needs, and it's so easy to set one up. So if there's not something which you find interesting, you can go to USU, our Students' Union body, and basically set up your society,
Yeah.
get the funding for it, because it's all paid for by the university,
Yes,
and then
like-
get going.
York didn't have fashion society, but
No.
now we had it because one of my friends, she
Set it
applied
up,
for it,
yeah.
and now it's like a year now.
Yes,
So yeah,
and
it's
they're
really
quite
cool.
inclusive and open to any idea, which is legal, from being allowed to come to fruition, which is nice. Okay, favourite module and why?
Ooh.
I'd say the US national security, very relevant. We look at everything from post-Cold War,
Presidents, yeah.
so Bush Senior, whose wife died today, did you see that on the news?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
Barbara Bush has died. If
Yeah.
everyone, sorry to break the news to anyone. Barbara Bush, so we do Bush Senior, Clinton, Bush Junior,
and
Obama, and a bit of Trump as well.
yeah.
So very topical, and obviously very changing and unpredictable given the nature of the man currently sat in the White House. That's been my favourite because it is still very theoretical, and you're looking at interesting things, but you're relating it back to case studies. So we looked at Iraq, the first Iraq War in the 1990s,
Like
stuff with China and Russia, yeah.
And
Very
the
on
Iraq
trend and
War.
on topic, isn't it? Which has been nice.
Yeah, it's really related to what happens today, and
Yeah.
actually you can see from that you can understand what Trump is doing and what's going on with the White House and how the U.S. foreign policy is shaped by the previous presidency.
And the precedences that
yeah.
they set. Yeah.
Yeah, how they deal with their legacy and how do they to carry out their own policies. So I would say that's really interesting, and I think I do contemporary political philosophy this year, and yeah, it was a really good module because I didn't know I would like philosophy because I hated it in my first year, but I ended up realizing, wow, this is so smart and people are so intelligent. So I'm just like, yes, this is so great. But now I just need to revise it, and that's not
Yes.
a good experience.
What about you? What was your favourite module?
My favorite module was border politics, taught by Alex Hall.
Oh.
Admissions
No, I'm
tutor.
just kidding.
Tick tick.
Actually, I would say my favorite module in third year, your dissertation counts as 2 modules. So you have a module less each term, which takes down your contact hours every week down to 9.
Yeah.
Which is not that much. But in your dissertation, you get to pick whatever topic you want to do it on. If you want to do a dissertation on Mexican food, if you want to do a dissertation on memes, if you want to do a dissertation on Taylor Swift.
Well, there's got to be some sort of link to
Well,
politics,
yeah. But everything in life is politics too. So you get to pick what you want to do. I'm doing mine on financial regulation, and I just quite enjoy it. So that would be my favorite module.
Taylor Swift feminism would be a good link.
Yeah.
She's a very
Yeah.
key figure in the
Well,
feminist movement in this
Personal
day
is
and age.
political,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes,
So
the person's
everything
political.
is
Yes.
political.
Who said that?
I
One
don't
that
know.
makes the
Is it the woman like?
one that made the banana.
Yeah, the
Bananas, beaches, and bases.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
Simone de Beauvoir.
Yes.
No, Enlo. Enlo,
Okay.
that's the name. Yeah, need a bit of revising. Just going to another question. How did you find moving to the UK? Yeah, that must be a real stress because when I move in, I bring the car up the A1, which is a terrible motorway, and it's all in the back of the car. And how did you find the whole thing? Well, I'm guessing you can't take a car full, you get the flight over. How is that experience, and how do York help make that a bit more easy?
I mean, me personally, when I came here, when you first arrive, you are put in your college in halls, and that's just you in a building with 500 other people that are in the exact same situation as you. They don't know anybody.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody. You're basically just let loose for a week, and you go to parties and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I made friends quite quickly, so I found that people were really welcoming, and you even get like a second and third year contact, which is just a guy who swings around for that week and basically shows you and your flatmates around town, and
Nights out and stuff, takes you out. Yeah.
yeah, it's very welcoming, and I found the transition not that hard to make.
Hillary?
Well, it was definitely not easy, but I wouldn't say it's really hard because you always remember that if there is something going on, there's always someone here to help.
Yeah.
So you always know that you've been taken care of. And I was in Halifax College, which is quite far away from campus, but
Not
it
that
was
far. It's about 10 minutes walk. isn't it?
yeah, like 15.
Yeah.
But like
Get a
there were
shift
a lot
on
of
every
people
10.
living there, so it was really nice because you get to meet a lot of people, and you know like people who live in your house and next doors, you know. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, it's really easy to make friends, and it actually feels like home. So
Yeah.
that was really nice. Yeah.
And I think as well, as a British person, British people are very hyper aware of kind of making sure people feel welcome.
Yes.
So I think I'm my flat in first year, and I live with a French student who lives in Tokyo. Who's not my best mate. We had people in our first year flat as well from Poland, and we had 3 international students out of 12. And I think definitely people were aware of that, but not to the point where they made it obvious and were kind of like going. I mean, they made sure that people felt welcome in this country. And how did you find the accent? Because French Max,
gosh.
who's my housemate, finds my accent, which is typically northern, quite difficult. Do you find the Yorkshire accent all right, or is it something you kind of
Your
like?
accent,
What's he saying?
I would say your accent it's better than Birmingham accent.
There we go. That's in the middle, the bit no one cares
That was like
about.
my flatmate, and he was like
Brummy.
Yeah, and like he was from like
Birmingham.
an area like next to it, and
Yeah.
whenever he speaks, and I was just like, "Oh, can you repeat?" I'm just like, "What are you saying?" But it wasn't just me, okay? His parents said because he cut the
Yeah.
words and really short. His
Mm.
parents said sometimes when he speaks, his parents don't understand.
People in the north miss the "to," so it's not the miss the "duh," so it's not to the park, it's to park, which people kind of like, what are you saying? But yeah,
I don't.
Should
you
we
kind of get used to it. Yeah, we've got a question.
Yeah.
Go for it.
How so the question says, how often do you travel back home? Do you get homesickness often? And I mean that's like a personal thing with you. Depends on the relationship I guess you have with your family. I feel homesickness sometimes, but I travel back home twice a year, once for Christmas and normally during the summer.
Yeah.
Because there's just not much to do here during like obviously the city's still here and stuff, but you don't have class and that, so I like to go visit my family.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have a good group of friends, so they help me not get homesick that often.
And they do stuff on campus over Christmas, over Easter. Don't they?
Oh,
So
yeah, that
if
is
If
true.
you are on campus, as you
That
say,
is
you are
true.
over Easter, they do put on stuff so that the international
That is
students who are left, or even people in this country who just don't go home for Easter because their mates are here, like you say, there's still stuff on campus. They run activities still, so you're not kind of just
Tons
left
of
for
stuff
4
like
weeks.
field trips, horse rides,
Movie nights.
and yeah, tons of stuff actually. Now that
Yeah.
you say,
Yeah. More than you think, actually.
And from the uni and from your college as well. So there'll be events from the International Student Association thing on uni.
Yes.
But there will also be events organized just by your college. So
Yeah.
you'll have plenty of stuff to do. I stay here over Easter every year, which is a solid about a month, 2 months.
Yeah, so
And like I said, you can work. So work your 20 hours a week, do some work. For uni, you can save a lot of money, and then you can go back home more often.
Yeah.
what about you?
I go back home like during the summer, so like once a year because I don't have enough money to pay for the tickets. It's just
You
too
don't way too enough,
expensive.
clearly.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think it's as expensive to go
I don't-
to
it
South
depends
America.
on-
Yeah.
yeah,
to
it
go to
depends
China.
on like the distance and where you go. Like,
Cheap flights on Skyscanner. It's
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
And do I get homesickness? Yes, I do, because actually Britain's really cold. Like, whenever it's cold outside, I'm just like, yeah, I miss home, because like where I'm from, it's not that cold and it doesn't rain that much. Okay, but like I said, UK is really, really beautiful when the sun is out. It's really beautiful.
too warm
I'm not
in here.
exaggerating. Oh come on!
Can we get
this
window
is not
open?
even summer.
Yeah, it's the best thing here when the sun shines. It's honestly
Yes.
beautiful.
It's
wanna open a window?
really beautiful.
Joel
and
definitely needs a window open.
yeah, I'm super impressed when the sun is out. But when the sun is not out, I'm just really sad.
You'll laugh because British people at the first sign of plus 15 degrees will definitely get their shorts on.
Yeah, but it's like,
And they're here till October.
how can you even do that? Like
It's
you
because we don't get much of summer. Where we are, it's notoriously, I can't swear on this, but rubbish weather. Uh, so when we get the first sign of sun, we're all eager for it. So these next couple of days is forecast beautiful weather in York. So I think everyone's going to be. Luckily, politics doesn't have week 1, term 3, so no one's actually in uni. So everyone's in the
Yeah,
garden
yeah.
revising. I've been in the garden all morning. So on the plus part as well, thinking about second and third year, when you sort of come to live off campus, that's a big thing because you've probably been holding your first. Do you want to come back in the camera?
Yeah.
Probably going to be off campus in your first year. Then second year, you go out and find a house in York, and it's a pretty nice area to
Yeah,
live in,
it's
isn't
like-
it? Are
it's
you guys
like-
off campus?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've never lived in a house before because like China is too busy and we live in apartments. So
Okay.
it's really different. The
Yes, you have a
feeling.
garden for the first time.
Yeah, that's really weird actually.
Yeah.
Or
But you need to take care of it. Like actually, I don't do much. But like just thinking about in the house, like only with you and the other 3 people, it's like
Yeah.
it's a whole new experience.
I think it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
best mates.
But also, if you don't want to deal with the hassle of finding a house or finding a guarantor or
Back
all the
on.
paperwork or stuff like that, there's houses on campus
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
that
Back in
that,
halls again, isn't it?
that are offered by uni accommodation,
Yeah.
which is it's the same. It's literally the same thing as renting a house outside.
Yeah.
Obviously, I guess you'd have to look at the specific prices of your options, but they're reasonably priced. You get a cleaner, and you don't have to get a guarantor or anything, and you're on campus. So there's always space on uni accommodation for you as well.
I don't think anyone's had a problem getting a house.
Yeah,
I think
no.
there's more supply than
Yeah,
demand.
I think there's a bit oversupply.
which is good because it means
Yeah.
prices will not always.
Yeah.
They know that they can't charge too much. What is Freshers Week like?
It's lots of fun.
Which college? So you Halifax
Yeah.
College?
Goodrick.
Goodrick. So that's on as east. I was in Constantine, which is the newest college. Freshers Week is kind of what you make of it, and what's great is that I know other universities have Freshers Week. Kind of. So we run it ourselves. So each college has a student committee who then put on Freshers Week. So it kind of reflects what the students want. So there's drinking, non-drinking events, stuff like that. Other big universities in big cities, I'm thinking where my mates have gone in Newcastle and London, it's kind of more like private events. So it's kind of, you'll go to an event and you'll not know who's going to go, are people going to go. Whereas you know that when you run Freshers via York, it's done to sort of integrate you very slowly. So you meet your flat first, then you meet next door maybe, then you meet your block, then the college. So gradually across the 7 days, you're kind of quite gradually, I think, introduced to seeing people from different colleges. And what's great about Freshers Week is everyone's so conversational.
Yeah.
coming up to you like the bar, like, hi, what's your name?
Mhm.
Everyone's exchanging Facebook names. You've got Snapchats you've never seen before from people you've added on Snapchat.
What do you
It's very
say?
friendly.
You ask it every day, like, hey, what's your name? How are you? Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. And tomorrow you're like, what's the name again?
Yeah. And that's great because everyone kind of feels able to just sort of go up
Yeah,
to people
yeah,
and be like,
just
oh,
to
hey, you seem like
introduce,
my
yeah.
kind of person. You're having fun. Like, it's very. Do you know how kids are and they're like 5 and they just talk to anyone? Freshers Week after a drink is kind of like that. Everyone just chats to everyone, and so everyone gets on really well. And I
And-
think the way we do it as well in colleges makes it not overwhelming. Because you are a bit nervous. There will be people who are more introvert than extrovert. That's natural. We know that. So they try to make sure that everybody feels happy and safe and secure.
Yeah, because we have like drinking and non-drinking
Yeah,
events.
And that's
so
a
it's
big
like,
thing as well.
Yeah, and also we have sticks, which is like second and third year. Like,
Contacts.
Yeah.
Yes. Were you guys a stick?
yes.
No, I wasn't.
But my
Okay,
friends
that's
were.
a really cool thing to do. So I was a stick. You get to do Freshers Week again for half the price. On the condition that you look after a bunch
Did
of
you have to
freshers.
pay?
You pay half of it.
Oh, come on. This
But
dude had to pay.
£17.50 for
Wow.
5 nights out, I think it's quite
Rich
good.
people. Yeah, that was really good because they guide you over things. So
yeah,
like,
city tour of York.
yeah, so you know where you're going, you know what's
Campus
going on.
tour,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they actually taught you a lot about how to live there. Because I remember when I first moved in, like my sticks just told me, oh, like the cleaner is not gonna clean your stuff unless you all put them on the table or put them back. So
Yeah.
everyone just put them on the table, and I still remember that today, so that you don't get fined. You know.
Yeah. It's little things like that because they've been there, they've done it, they've lived in your accommodation, they know how it works.
Yeah.
And actually, like, I'm still really good friends with my 2 sticks from first year, and they're about to graduate. So it does help to create, I think, a kind of a multi-level, multi-year group squad. If that makes sense. So we have friends in 3rd year, us lot in
Yes.
2nd year, and we have the freshers because you get that college community feel. So that you have sort of like generational
Yeah.
friendship
then
groups,
we
which
make
I think
friends with
is quite
freshers.
unique. Like when I say to my mates at home, like, oh yeah, the 3rd years, they say, how do you know them? I said, well, the college system helps you do that. So there's no excuse to not find friends, I don't think, because there are loads of places
No.
where you can meet them. And if you get stuck in and get involved and people generally do that, then there's no reason why you can't have a good time on top of your degree, which is a good degree as well. So yeah, you can send your questions as well in. So we've got one so far. Feel free to send them in as well. It's not like we've done this so that you're not in the back of the room feeling awkward in front of an audience. So feel free to read your name out and we'll just ask the question. We have got some pre-prepared ones as well. Do you want to pick one?
Yeah.
Done that one, haven't we?
Oh, we have them.
Class size is 15 max. Lecture doesn't matter because you're all listening anyway. That's a good one.
So the question reads, what are your top tips for starting university in the UK?
Warm clothing.
Yeah, warm clothing would be the first
And
one.
one pair of shorts for the 2 days it will be sunny.
Yeah, that was a good idea because, like, I have a friend and she's from Greece, so it was really warm, and she didn't have any winter clothes when she moved here, and then she was so shocked when it was like getting like late November, and she was like, "No, Hillary, we need to go and shopping." It's like,
It's cold.
I have nothing. I don't have a coat, and
Yeah.
it's cold. Yeah, so definitely bring like warm clothes. Definitely.
My
Definitely.
housemate Phoebe, who's from the south of England, wears a ski jacket in January because it's that cold.
Yeah.
She says.
It's definitely ski jacket weather.
But I think you do.
I'll
I think
I
back
do
that.
that.
I'll back that.
I
It's
think you
definitely
do
ski jacket weather.
acclimatise.
Yeah, it does. So the weather is
Or just man up.
it's all right. I've honestly the cold isn't what bothers me. It's the amount of rain that bothers
And the wind,
me.
the wind.
And the
Yes,
wind.
it's
So maybe not warm clothing, but waterproof clothing. But for starting university, I would say that university is the same as anything else you do in life. You want to have a balance. You have to understand that it's an experience that goes beyond just you
Yeah.
doing your schoolwork. And so my biggest advice would be join societies.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's literally societies for every single thing I can think of, and almost every single sport that you can play at uni. We have some great facilities as well.
Yeah.
Join societies, join sports teams. It's a great way to make friends, first of all, and second of all, it'll keep you active, and it'll just make your uni experience a lot better. If you take advantage of the stuff that is offered to you by USU and the societies on campus,
Yeah.
because nobody wants to go to uni and just sit there and do their course.
Yeah, nor should you just go and party.
Yeah.
And I might get told off a bit for saying this, but I think freshers, you've worked very hard to get to this point. You are allowed to take your foot off the gas a little bit in first year and have fun. They get that, they know that. Equally, the people, I think, and we've been here long enough to know, the people who still put the work in first year, but still had a good time as well and got that balance perfect, have gone on to then have the foundations for second and third year. So I think universally, especially in the UK, I think around the world as well, the whole freshers type thing is, it's known that you're going to come and have fun because you've worked very hard to get here, moving away from parents, living with new people, having fun. There's that clubbing culture if you want it. So that is kind of factored in, I think, in the sense that your first year maybe doesn't count. But, it's up to you. You can do both. I went out 3 times a week and I got mark off a first in first year, and then did loads of stuff to then get stuff at the BBC. So you can. I'm not saying that I'm the perfect student, but you can definitely have a balance. I think the older you get, you'll appreciate that as well. That you can definitely have it all, and I think York does allow you to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't know how it works and how it fits, but it just does.
I mean,
Maybe
and
I'm just lucky.
that's another thing that I think numbers wise or grades wise, your first year at uni is not gonna factor that much into
it's like a mock exam
into your final grade, but don't let people convince you that it doesn't matter, because if you want to leave first year of uni and get an internship in the summer, you're gonna have to have good grades for that
foundations
internship
as well. I still look back and some of the theory we did in first year, some of the ideas, the thinkers, it all builds up. So by the time you get to third year, when your courses, your module choices are interlinked anyway, they interlink across the 3 years. Politics is not a case of, they're not sort of existing on their own type topics. They're not autonomous. They are interlinked. So that's something that I think people would learn the hard way if they don't sort of have that right balance. But not to say that you can just come in and drink, because you can't. I mean, you can in theory, but won't end well for your liver and for your degree. But you can have it all, and I think that's something that for universities in first year probably don't always point out.
Something that as a third year is a really big thing, and you realize it's kind of the point behind you going to uni in the first place, but gets disregarded a lot in first and second year, is think about your careers and think about your jobs. And if you want to get a job here, or what job you want to get when you finish uni, the 3 years go a lot quicker than you expect it to, and before you know it, you're going to graduate. And like I said, I've known people that did an internship in first year with a company in summer in first year, did a placement in second year, and at the beginning of third year, they already had their job. They already had their job secured for when they graduated. So if you want to have a job, if you choose that's the path that you want to go. If you want to go into further study, then that's up to you, or whatever you want to do. But think about your career early, plan early, and you'll have a lot less to worry about in the end.
And if all that is a bit, there's the help here when you want it. If you don't come here with a predetermined idea, there are, like you said, the Careers Gateway, there is Charlie. So people come here with an interest in politics, but don't have a career path. People just have that light bulb moment. My housemate Phoebe has just had that herself every Easter because she's been using the careers sort of advice. So you don't have to come with a preordained kind of idea of what you want to do. You're allowed to sort of formulate those ideas yourself when you're here, which is, I think, is important.
And that's kind of one of the reasons why I say think about it early, because the career gateways and the career services are really good. You can find something to do every single break that you have. Easter vacation, summer vacation, and Christmas vacation. Most internships last about a week, 2 weeks. So if you don't know you probably don't know what you want to do, because nobody knows what they want to do. I don't know what I want to do, and I'm graduating in 2 weeks. But the only way you're going to find out what you do want to do is by trying a lot of stuff that you don't like. So take an internship at a law firm and decide that law is not for you, and then go take an internship at an NGO and then decide that's not for you. And then eventually you'll reach something that you want to do.
Yeah.
But use your time wisely and use the resources that the uni gives you, because everything's there. But if you don't go and use the resources, then you won't be able to reap the benefits. That's a bit somber.
Yeah.
It's cool. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Breathe.
I think it's okay to not knowing what you want, you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
like
of course
you
it
are
is.
in the uni, you're just trying to explore and figure out, because you're still growing. Like you're an adult, but like you're not in your 40s. You're in your like 20s, 19, 18. You
Yeah.
know? You're still
Yeah.
growing and trying to see like, oh, what you actually like, because that's a really important aspect of uni, just to like give you
Yeah.
like multiple choices, and then you see like, oh, which one I actually want to join and actually want to participate.
And making mistakes is good. I think making mistakes is not a bad thing at all because you learn from them.
Yeah.
A university is a pretty safe place, I think, to make mistakes. Yeah, I've always made mistakes while I was
Yeah.
at university. It's
Yeah.
a pretty safe environment. I think, what's great about the UK is that, it's a very sort of liberal place. It's very non-judgmental. When you do, I think it takes for granted, don't know which part of the world you're coming from, might be somewhere which is not as open and free as this country is. It's a very liberal place. So I think, you come into a very friendly city in a pretty diverse country, which has got a lot to offer. And I think people forget that. And sometimes taking a bit of a step back and thinking, I'm in this great northern city. My housemate Max hasn't even seen the UK yet. I said to him, like, you've only got a year left. You're entitled to go around the United Kingdom. Like, go and see the UK. It's one of the most well-known, famous countries in the world, isn't it? The UK. And like, have you seen much
I've
of
traveled
it?
loads.
Have you seen much of the UK?
I've gone to every big city basically.
I mean, London.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to like London, Manchester, Edinburgh.
You've been up north, Edinburgh.
Glasgow,
I haven't been there before. I'm from
the-
around here.
Like Lake District.
The Lake District.
Birmingham,
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
and Bath. It was really
Sheffield.
good.
Been Sheffield way.
No.
I've been to Sheffield.
I've been to Leeds.
Go ride some mountain bikes
Yeah.
in Sheffield.
Yeah.
Shout
Oh,
out to
in
Sheffield.
Shout.
I
Great.
think
Great.
it's down there.
South
right?
Yorkshire. It's in the
Yeah.
south of Yorkshire. Yeah.
Great mountain biking up there.
Yeah, it's in the.
If any of you are into mountain
Pennines,
bikes,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah. Beautiful.
Scotland and Sheffield are where it is
Scotland's
at.
amazing.
And the Lake District is quite good as well. Shall we go through the last two questions then? Because there are two more questions we
Oh,
left.
yeah.
And then we'll wrap
Go on.
up unless you've got any more on your. I want to say Tinterweb. Sounds like my nan. On the online comments on YouTube. What did you think was the most surprising thing about studying in the UK? What one thing
Wow.
did you not expect?
I think the academic
Oh.
quality, because like I knew like people say yeah it was good, but I didn't know what it means by saying it was good, because like in the UK they really talk about critical thinking,
Yeah.
how to be like how to write your essay critically, how to actually to open your mind to different perspectives.
Yes.
Because that was definitely something that I wasn't that educated in my background, so I wasn't
Okay.
used to that kind of idea of thinking, obviously. Don't laugh. Yeah. So it was really surprising. We always hear like different points, like different points of views, and then you choose to think, oh, so like there's like things always have two sides, and you just
Yeah.
have to hear them both rather than
Yeah.
being just like
And
a
I
little bit extra.
And
Yeah.
I recall first year with you start talking about the rise of China, and it was fascinating to hear
Ooh,
your
thank
perspective on
you.
it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it's something that if you're in sixth form, and we did a bit of it in sixth form, we did like Russian
Yeah, I
politics,
didn't even know what it said.
and you don't really sort of. Whereas having a student who is very intelligent from China, giving, I'm not saying the official Chinese party line, but you know what I mean. You had a very sort of typical approach to how China was viewed in the world, and it's very interesting to see how your opinions have changed.
Yeah.
And how I think as a British student from the West, how my opinions, and then do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that
definitely.
conversation, which is very amicable and respectful, definitely it's interesting. Like whenever I chat with you about what's life in China like, the culture, and vice versa, it's just fascinating. Like I'm going to Tokyo because French Max said I can't wait to see a different culture, which is in the East. So I think university gives you a chance to experience a different culture. If you're not from these Western European parts, it's not a cultural shock, but it's nice to see how different cultures kind of are
Because
and
you
work.
actually just not only learn about your textbooks, but also you learn like, oh, what's the food there? What's the food
Yeah.
like in Europe? Like
Yes.
the culture there, how people
Yorkshire
think there.
puddings. Did
And
you hear Yorkshire puddings before?
yes, I've had
Yeah.
it. It was alright. Yeah.
We told French Max to go and find Yorkshire puddings in the Yorkshire section of the supermarket. He was looking for ages. He was looking for ages and he just couldn't find them. We got a phone call. We had to let him know that there's not a Yorkshire section of Tesco or Asda. He fell for it, but now he knows what Yorkshire puddings are.
Oh,
It's like a
gosh.
pancake, but pasted up a little bit.
And
You'll
it's
have to
like
come and try
something
it.
we
Yeah,
have in China.
There's
but
an
it's
incentive to
here,
come to
yeah.
Yorkshire puddings. We actually have. It's world famous. Google it. The Yorkshire pudding company. It's like a Yorkshire pudding wrap, isn't it? It's in town.
Yes, yes.
So you
Oh,
have the Yorkshire pudding. It kind of like is the base, and then you have your Yorkshire Sunday roast. So you know your meat, your
Yes.
mash, your veg, your gravy, all in this wrap. It's gone massive. That's in York. What about you? What did you find most surprising about the UK, apart from the Yorkshire roast pudding company shop?
I've found it from moving here, I guess. I've found that it was a lot easier than I expected.
Good.
Most of the stuff is prepared for you, basically.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff is almost done for you. It's like you only have to push it, especially in your first year, you only have to do a little bit to make your living here
Fun. Yeah.
and fine. Like you don't have to worry a lot about rent. You don't have to worry a lot about cleaning your apartment. If you don't want to cook, you can get catered
Yeah.
accommodation in Derwent or James or stuff.
Even on
So-
Hes East now, you can pay for
Yeah,
meals at the new
Hes East
Piazza
as well.
building. So wherever you choose to live on campus.
So if you get sick, then the uni has a nurse, like a nurse and a doctor, in like a kind of little
Doctor's surgery.
Yeah, we have,
hospital, like a GP.
here,
Yeah.
like a GP office. So in my first year, I thought it was going to be a big change, you know, living alone, moving away and stuff. And it was just surprisingly easy.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was for me.
I think we probably come to a natural end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you do want to get in touch with Alex, her Mac has gone, but you can email. You'll have an email address to get in touch with Alex. Any further questions? But hopefully this has been useful. You can email questions over, and I know that these guys are probably happy to email them back over by Alex. If you haven't just joined us now, feel free to type them in via email. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in summer. And good luck for graduating.
Yeah.
See you in September. I mean,
Yeah, see you in September for Freshers Week.
September.
Very good week. If start to plan it
Yeah.
now, it'll be good.
We might be sticks though.
It could be us. Well, if you're in Constantine, you'll have me.
Halifax, sweet.
Incentive not to go to Constantine now. Right. Thank you for watching,
Okay.
and bye bye.